Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on your time zone. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Ogbanje Joseph. Okay, so today we're going to be looking at the changing rules of international organization, the changing rules of international organization. Now, international organization, according to Coremos, okay, Coremos Insing and Center 2001 can be defined as the explicit arrangement negotiated among international actors which proscribe and of course authorize behavior, and this explicit behavior, these explicit arrangements are public, at least among the parties themselves. Klabas 2002 defines international organization as a social science construct created by people in order to presumably, to help them achieve some purpose, whatever that purpose may be. So comprehensively, international organization from the definitions above can be simply seen as the coming together of two or more nations to achieve a particular aim or aims, okay, and these aims are achieved by countries belonging to these international organizations by pulling resources together, okay. So now let us look at the origin of international organization. Now, the emergence of international organization in its current form, okay, is traceable to the creation of the League of Nations. Although the rise of international organization, okay, rarely began in 1919, because before this time there was, there was the Hellenistic League, that was formed to promote trade among European countries in the Middle Ages, and the Westphalia Treaty of 1648, that stopped the 30 years old war that led to the creation of state system, but that metamorphosed into international organization. So historically, the idea of setting up international organizations is actually for the purpose of tackling mutual challenges at the global scale, and it did not arise until the Versailles Treaty of 1919. Now, before the First and Second World War, before the First and Second World War, so many congresses and conferences, followed, like the Vienna Congress of 1885, the Hague Conference of 1819, to initiate a post-war order, which gave birth to the League of Nations, that later changed to the United Nations. Okay, that later changed to what? To the United Nations. Now, the next thing we're going to be talking about are the reasons. What are the reasons for the emergence of international organizations? Now, countries make up the international system and are not equal. So some are strong and others are weak. But they integrate, to maintain the world peace and security, to avoid, in order to avoid any emergence of another war. Okay? So according to the realists, countries can come together in an organization, but the submission of their country's sovereignty should not be total. Okay, so that is actually according to the realist. But the liberalists, on the other hand, are of the view that countries should come together in order to accommodate each other. So what are the functions of international organization? The traditional role of international organizations are as follows. Number one is maintenance of international peace and security. Number two is peacekeeping, peacemaking, and peace building. Number three is respect for human rights, control of arms and disarmament. Then number five is controlling information and monitoring trend in the international system. The next one is The next one is of course promotion of contact among the various groups in international system. The next one is reduction and control of conflict. The next one is collaboration and cooperation for socio-economic benefits. The next one is cooperation to protect members against external threats. Now, what are the changing roles of international organizations? The changing roles of international organizations can be looked at from the following perspective. Number one, we have actually talked about the traditional role, and the traditional roles, are the 10 basic functions I talked about. Now, what are the changing roles? The changing roles are: number one, regulation of relations among nation states, not only for the sake of preventing conflict and war, but for the purpose of development, e.g., collaboration in the promotion of science and technology. That's number one. Number two is provision of framework for states to interchange not only ideas but personnel and programs. Number three, provision of forum for states not only to discuss their problems but to also help in the fulfillment of the essential aspiration of the people in general. Number four, the roles of international organizations have also expanded, to population control. Number five, international organizations have also helped in devising ways to organize and control the chaos that one finds in the urban centers. Number six is that international organizations have also helped in responding impressively to problems of refugees. To that extent, we can actually say that these are actually the changing roles of international organizations. Now, the perception, the concept of the changing roles of international organizations actually, flows from the fact that, of course, there are traditional roles of international organizations, and these traditional rules are gradually moving into a different role. And these different rules are actually the changing role of international organization. And I've talked about regulation of relations, provision of framework for states to interchange ideas, provision of forum for states not only to discuss their problems but to actually have fulfillment in the essential aspiration of the people in general. And then we talk about the expansion of population control. That is population control. I've also talked about the control the chaos that are found in urban centers. And of course, we also looked at problem of refugees. Now, international organizations have actually delved into some of these areas that I have mentioned, and those are the changing roles of international organizations. Thank you very much.